Cool, okay, now I am back. I actually didn't really go anywhere, I was just sitting here. But my voice needed to rest a bit. Cool, alright, so someone was asking, how hard is it to design a level for this game? We will see, I'll show you this. I have, these are separate from puzzle levels. But go to this thing we were working on earlier and just duplicate this scene. So I'm gonna do, okay, last time on Friday we were working on this level called Salk Institute. Color grid. I'll talk about that. We'll go inside. This is what it looks like. The Salk Institute level. However, I've actually decided that I don't think it's such a great. Hold on, let me up the reference image that we were using. So this is the one. So we were trying to, I was thinking of making a level that looked like this. The problem is that I don't think this works really well in my game with having it repeat over and over again, because I think this is really about minimalism, and so you sort of need kind of this like really open space, which doesn't work well in my game because then there's just too much flat walking, not enough gravity rotation, which just isn't that interesting. So what I did instead, so I don't think I'm going to continue with this one. Like, it's pretty easy for me to tell early on, especially during that blocking stage when I'm just testing out the layout, that I don't think it's going to work very well. So we're going to move on to something. I have another idea that I'd like to try. So if any of you are new and are enjoying the stream, make sure to follow. It lets me know that people are watching and digging it. Alright, so what I'm instead going to do is one that's based on... I don't know if I've saved it. I don't think I've saved the image. But I am... Ah, here it is. Actually, I did save it. This image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this tower that's really intricate. And then what we're going to do is then have this like some kind of grid patterns on top, sort of going through it. So this kind of mesh with these giant towers with this mesh in between, so there's sort of like two geometry superimposed on top of one another. I haven't done anything like that before, so I think that might be kind of really fun. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So first of all, what we're going to do is delete everything that we did last week. I did save the level. You can see here it's Will 24 Salk Institute, and then I still have, you know, I'm going to move this off. Actually, so hierarchy can stay. Let's go to stream layout. Yeah, there we go. Just to give us a little more room. Look at the scene. Alright. And let's bring the player to origin. let's start with, that might be too big. Let's do 30 by 30 by 30, and then kind of start sculpting from there. So hold on, let's bring it to the origin first. So again, for those of you who are new and watching for the first time, I am using this Unity plugin. So I'm making the game in Unity. The name is called Relativity. We do have a new name that will be coming out maybe next month, sometime this summer. Ed Riofer, hello. Nice to see you again, as always. So just explain to everyone, this is a game, Relativity is what it's currently called, relativitygame.com. I'm making it in Unity. I do all the modeling inside Unity with the plugin called Pro Builder, which is really, really wonderful to work with. I met Kyle, I believe is his name, one of the developers at GDC, and he showed me some of the stuff they're working on. That's not ready yet, but really cool, great support. So what I'm doing, you know what, just give me a second. I am going to grab the reference image and put it up in the stream window so you guys can see. Okay, here we go. I don't think it's working right now. Okay. Actually, if that image is not working, I'll just show it here once in a while. Actually, you know what I can do? I can do I'll do Quadro. Just have it up. Again, this is another tool that I really like. It's called Quadro. From the studio, I think they also make games, but what it does is it's really fantastic when you're working with reference images. So it's on my desktop. I will add a local image. Reference images, repeating architecture, and it gives me the option of having it overlay on top of the screen. So you can do, what's really nice is you can do always on top. And then even if I'm working Unity, that will still be above. So super, super handy. Especially great if you have limited monitor space, which I think we often do. Doesn't matter if you have many monitors, they'll just get filled up. Alright, so and you know what, we can also resize this thing. Nice. And again, this is a little gizmo. I've decided to keep it super handy. It lets me see what direction, which direction is which gravity. Now, the problem is I tend to build everything with like blue focus, right? Because just blue is the default down even inside Unity. So I always need to remember to like make sure to, after I've built something, to then turn around. I do prefer blue because you see if I'm working on this other way, the rotation gets inverted. So when you're working with blue and you rotate the mouse left, you can see the eye, it turns left, right? But if I flip it over and I'm working with the other way, if I rotate left, if I move the mouse left, it actually rotates right. I'm used to it by now, but it's still this just feels a lot more comfortable. Okay, so you can see that there is this opening here, and then basically the structures that go up. Okay, so let's see, this is 30. Let's do it this way. So, and this is just a test. Like right now, I'm just trying to get a sense of the spacing. I don't know if you guys have been following development of The Witness. That's Jonathan Blow's new game. But they actually brought on architects to consult with about the buildings inside the game, and it's really fascinating. Luis Antonio, he's the artist and a friend of he's the artist on The Witness and a friend of mine, and he gave a talk at GDC about sort of all the architectural thinking that's gone into design of the spaces in the game. It's really phenomenal. Like it's all, for example, it's like on this island, and they originally just had this wall of brick, and they were like these kind of giant bricks because they're making games or whatever. And then the architects are like, actually, you know, those bricks are really big, so that means they probably would have needed like machinery or slavery to carry these bricks, not machines, because it's too small for that. So they probably would have needed a slave population to carry these bricks. Is that something that's part of the history of this island? And it isn't. So because of that, they ended up making the bricks a lot smaller, so that like one person can carry them. Really fascinating stuff. Oh yeah, so the way I like to do these arcs is I like to use staircases for that. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so one problem that happens with ProBuilder is if you get it in like the middle of the grid, sometimes that messes it up and you have to go down to a smaller division to pair it. Okay, there we go. I should look in, yeah, it's, let me see if I can find it. Just Google, let's see, GDC Luis Antonio. Yeah, it's free. It's called The Art of the Witness. Fantastic talk. But don't watch it right now because I'm streaming. Alright, so another thing that's really cool about ProBuilder is, in addition to cubes, I mean, I really only use cubes, but there's like a whole bunch of shapes you can make. You can make an arc. Oh wow, that's super handy. So, I mean, I'm not going to have an arc just because it doesn't work in the context of my game. So usually what I do is I make stairs. And now the steps are each half a unit, so that means... So with this one, I think I'm going to want the width of the staircase to be... You know what? 4 is fine. Let's go with 4. And it's half a unit, so let's put 10 steps, which would mean it's 5, 5. No, wait, 10, yeah. Though I think maybe we can get away with a much larger set of stairs. Let's go with this now and just see how that looks. I'm gonna first change it to Mesh Collider instead of a Box Collider, and we'll down here. So this is the first run. I'm not too concerned about things being oh right, so also in ProBuilder you can, this is like selecting the top level. I'm selecting this whole thing. geometry editing, you can select face or hit H, and then that goes into vertex selects mode or edges. But I usually work with face. Select all 6 faces, and then let's color it blue, just so I can see where it, just so if I'm lining things up, I can see it better. Crazy Raz. Willie, have I told you about the human resource machine yet? No, you have not. What is that? Fishing is grade 001. Hello, how do you start gaming development? Well, I think the best thing to do now is to download an engine, Unity, Unreal, GameMaker. I think they're all equally valid and useful depending on what you want to do with it, and just start playing around. That's how this happened. I was just kind of I wanted to see what Unity was like, and now 2.5 years later, here I am working on this game. Human Resource Machine is a game some World of Goo guys decided to make, like Ron Carmel. I know he worked on World of Goo. Okay, so that's the pillar for... Okay. Alright, so let's copy these over. So basically what I want is these 4 pillars on each side, and then each one of them have this arc. Now eventually what I'll do is I'll make each of these a prefab. Actually, you know what? I can probably make them a prefab now. Get this out of the way. Alright, let's make this a game object. Alright, and we'll put this in the stairs side. Okay, so now we have this. Let's call this arc. And I will copy one on this side. I want one on this side. Is this going to be all pixels? This is not a pixel game. No, this is actually just, there are no pixels. Well, just the pixels on the screen, but no, it's not a pixel art style. It's actually 3D. Use machine, is there a new game? Oh, Kyle Gabler. Okay, I'll check that out. Now that I think about it, I feel like these should be... Actually, you know what? One thing I like to do when I'm working is actually make each of these a prefab, so then I can make actually quick changes. So let's go back, architecture prefabs, and then we'll make a folder. Just call it World 25 Pillar Grid. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and delete these kids and this one. And then that way, if I make changes to this, it gets applied. It'll get applied to all of them, which just saves me some time. Especially because right now I'm still trying to, you know, this thing is pretty symmetrical. Alright, and now we'll do a tower. This is corner tower. We'll call it corner tower. If anyone is interested... thanks for posting the screenshot. Human resource machine. Oh, very cool. This looks really interesting. Hello, D. Kilmer. Space Chem. I've played Skip Base Camp, but the problem is it feels way too much like work. But they're sort of like kind of the puzzles that I wish I could make. Fishing is grade 0001. What am I building? I'm currently building a level that is going to look like this. But even crazier, with kind of repeating geometry. Our tower, and let's again make this a prefab. Get rid of. The problem with this game manager, it has these canvas elements, and I'm always accidentally selecting them. Tower. Now, after this, I'm just gonna jump in and get a sense of the scale of this. We're gonna do one more shape. It's just like a giant floor. Oops, not Y. 2, and this is just for me to jump down and have a quick look at what this looks like. Oh, I also need to make this. You tag everything as environment so it gets the color coding. And so that the correct gravity material gets applied. Okay, let's see this now. Right, because I disabled the game manager object, it doesn't run. Oh, by the way, so that tool I'm using is like this thing called Reuniter. The dev saw me streaming, and then he was like, I've got this tool that I think can help you be more efficient. Alright, I like this. I think this might be a little... No, I think it feels right in terms of scale. I think the arc can be a little bit bigger. Like, I think there can be more steps up there. The inside can be a little bit more interesting. Yeah, you know, the problem with, like, so this is actually one reason why I avoid having a lot of flat geometry, is because then I can't do anything except walk. Like, there's nothing to rotate onto. That gap is too high. So having this, like, infinite flat ground feel like would look kind of cool to have this this like minimalist style level, but it's just really not fun to play with. So I do think things one. Let me see. Okay, first these towers I think can be a little bit longer. Apply the stairs. Let's create another stair shape. Go. Okay, number of steps. So this was 10. I feel like we could go for. No, that was 20, right? Because the height and depth were 10. I feel like we could go for a little bit more. Maybe 24? No, wait, not meant 15. No, 12. Right. So then it would be 24 steps. Oh, then the other thing is I don't need to generate it back. Okay. So it just means that the this side you see here is okay. Let's bring this into right here. So now what we can do is replace. First of all, we'll get rid of these two stairs. Yes, we will lose the connection to the prefab, but don't worry, we will make another one. Okay. Okay, and now have it come back and line up. Yeah. So, by the way, while we're, kind of just working on this, is there any kind of, what do you guys think of the critique? What do you guys think of having Chris come on to talk a bit more programming? Is that stuff you guys enjoy? I guess we haven't had a guest on the stream yet, but the puzzle critique, what do you guys think of it? I have, to get honest, I have replicated that. That is the inspiration for the game, right? It's actually not a great level design. It's a little too messy. One of these days I will go, I had it in like a really early build, I mean, of course. And I will go over this one, but you just end up getting lost really easily. I mean, but Pedestrian had it easy. It's not interactive. Yeah, more than one person would be nice to see. We are so sick of you talking. Yeah, so the other person I'm thinking of having come on board one is David. So he's the guy who's been doing the optimization and the tools, and we will have him also kind of talk about what he's been doing. So because I also have no idea what's going on at that level. Stairs, and now okay, cool. It's been applied to all of them. And let me bring this up. You know what this level is starting to remind me a lot of is the game Ico. It was based on, so it's this image. This is from the cover of Ico, and it was inspired by the surrealist painter, Giorgio de Chirico's Nostalgia of the Infinite. So I want to say it reminded me of the Ico poster, but really, I think this is the image that we're talking about. But yeah, I love this. This is such a beautiful cover. Like, I don't know, I just feel it's so evocative. And that kind of, this too, I guess it's got the same shading. And I feel like this kind of reminds me of that a bit. Oh, cool! I can zoom in with my mouse. All right, so I feel like this should be now. All right, grab this. And prefab that. Tool development. Yeah, David is pretty much a whiz at that, so we'll get him on board. And I've talked to him about it. I know he's interested. Oh, cool. I will show you guys, so you know we can. Over here now, we can start talking about. Right, so I think there's going to be some windows. So this is going to be pretty tall. I feel like, see right here, that would be a good spot to start having some windows. So let's open up Photoshop, and we'll. For those of you who haven't seen this window generator, David wrote it, I think, about 2 weeks ago. And it is absolutely amazing. It used to take me an hour to make a window, and now it takes me like 3 minutes. So I feel like it takes Photoshop longer to load up than it does. I don't know why it always needs to show me this welcome screen. So number of pixels, so it's half. Let's see here. This is oh right, okay, so first, before we make this, oops. Okay, here we go. So first what I want to do is sort of get an idea of how big I want that window to be. That's always important. Obviously right now it's still really rough. Okay, so let's see. There. So this is. Okay, so that's 14 by 30. Let's go with 14 by 40 to see what that looks like. By 40. Now that would be the actual. Now the actual window I think would be a little bit smaller than that. Because it would need to start. Because there is the corner, right, that we need to worry about. So you know what? Let's do it like this. Okay, there we go. That's 17.5 by 40. Alright, 17.5 by 40. So 17.5, that's 35, 36. 36. Yeah, 36 by 80. And we want to show the grid on this. So basically the unit that we're using when we're making these windows is 0.5. Show grid. And what we want to do. I meant 35. That was a test to see if people were paying attention. Alright, so cool. So I know one side is the edge. So it doesn't, well actually both sides will be edges, so we don't need the side pieces. So let's just go ahead and see what this looks like. Yeah, this is all like super rough. possible this is gonna look completely awful, but this tool is really easy to work with and it's really easy to change stuff, so there isn't really there's no reason not to experiment. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's duplicate this layer and just a way to I just want to convert it. But there we go. Flip horizontal. That's what I wanted. Okay. And now let's copy this. Is control flip vertical. And hit it again, and then we will hit horizontally. I'm just kind of playing around right now. I don't normally I will follow a Frank Lloyd Wright window design and more or less try to copy that. But I'd like to, but sometimes what I like to do is just kind of freestyle it, and sometimes you get really interesting patterns that come about. Yikes. Okay. Ooh. This eraser brush. Okay, I think that looks not too bad, not too shabby. Let's go and see what this looks like. Windows design 025 color grid. Save. Okay, now inside Unity, Control Shift W. I even have a hotkey now. This window might take a little while to Chinese windows. Yeah, they're big. I know. I think Frank Lloyd Wright. Yes, these are amazing. Okay, you know what? I will. This would actually be really, really nice. These are beautiful as well. This is nice. Oh, these are lovely. let's go with, come back and play. I like this pattern a lot. Let's see. Oh, here's the window. See, you see that? Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to grab the entire. For square windows, make them rotationally symmetric, but not reflectionality. But not reflectionally. I am not sure what you mean by that. Oh, I see. Oh, wait, actually, I do know what you mean by that. Okay. This over. So what I need, one thing I had accounted for was having this corner piece right here. And now let's take this. Well, let's bring it side here. Ooh. And now let's see, let's hit apply. What? Why is not, how come this didn't get replicated? Weird. Interesting. I might have to talk to David about this. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I hit apply with both of these as children as part of it, and it got there. They've been replicated, but I can't see them. If I bring in the prefab itself, if that's going to make a difference. I think it's, yeah, I'm gonna have to, I'll talk to David about this. I think it has something to do with the way it is creating these, I think it's the way it's creating this mesh and not saving it. So, notes for Chris, notes for David. David, what is when window prefab applied, it doesn't duplicate prefab instances don't draw the frame. Okay, we are going to, so now we're actually just going to copy it. Place it. It's annoying though. Yeah, because then the problem is using this workflow sort of completely defeats the point of prefabs or integrating prefabs into the workflow. So I will bring that to his attention. Yeah, the kind of the great thing about knowing how to write tools is then you can basically keep streamlining your process. Now let's, where is our rigid body player? Okay. Let's come out here and see. By the way, that's a tool reuniter. Did it get repositioned to origin? No, I don't think so. I would check. So here we go. I think it's... hold on. Let me move this up again. I actually have a chance at rotating onto some geometry. ProBuilder meshes happen. That happens with ProBuilder all the time? I haven't seen that too much before. Okay. So I like this. I like the sense of scale. Feels very, very impressive. Oh right, they have no colliders attached. But this doesn't look super interesting right now, but yeah, I think maybe once this tower looks like it keeps going up, once that sense of scale, and obviously there needs to be more detail on the sides as well. It's too flat, but I think this is gonna be kind of a special level. I feel it. Oh, it only happens when I turn into... It only happens when you turn it into an asset. Oh, so this is an interesting shape to approach from beneath. Yeah, it's a little, you know, I do think it's a little... It's missing details, because without details you don't get a sense of scale. The stairs help with that. But I am going to... We will fix that. Ooh, I like that. I probably made this bottom base way too big. But anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a night here because it's 10 now. But this is the start of this level. I think it's really promising. I think it's better than the Salk Institute version. Eventually, probably what we'll want to do is have interior spaces all throughout, so you can like go inside and explore. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna just disable the HUD. Well, it's really just that dot in the middle, and take some screenshots. Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming by, Catchco. Alright, that's it. This is it. Alright, we'll pick this up tomorrow. Alright, see you guys.